Hi, my name is Kyle, and this is my vape story. I live in Grand Prairie, Alberta, Canada. I started smoking when I was about 20 years old. The reason I did it was so I could get extra breaks at work. Now, depending on the day I was having, it was at least a pack a day. Some days had a pack and a half, some days two. Now, fast forward to September 2012. Married, kids, I get diagnosed with chronic myelogenous leukemia. Basically, what that means is that my white blood cells are dead, empty. I can't fight infections. So, you think being diagnosed with cancer, you would quit smoking. I didn't. I was stupid. But at the same time, I was sick and I wasn't feeling good and was stressed and terrified. So smoking was my normal thing. It was routine. That's why I think I kept with it. Now, fast forward to September 2013. I become unresponsive to my medications, which means that the only option I have is an allogenic stem cell transplant. So I had to do an interview with the transplant surgeon of Calgary, Alberta, at Tom Baker, which is the cancer institute there. She asked during the interview that if I smoked. I said, yeah, I smoke. And she's like, well, you're going to have to quit. Why do I have to quit? She says, if you continue to smoke up until transplant, you will develop a lung infection, and the chances of you dying are very high. So I quit on the spot that day. I threw my cigarettes out. I think I still had about like 3/4 of a pack left. I just tossed them in the garbage. I was done. My wife did the same thing. So February of 2014, I went to Calgary, Alberta for 3 months. Went through my transplant and all that. My caregiver, after I came out of the hospital there, while I was still in Calgary, smoked, and I couldn't stand the smell. It was just disgusting. Ugh, I hated it. Now, fast forward to September 2014. Myself and my wife go to a friend's birthday party where we start smoking cigarillos. In Canada, we call them cigars. We started smoking Peach Prime Times. Now, we started smoking those pretty heavily for a month. It was pretty much a pack a day, and I was feeling gross. My lungs hurt. I was coughing stuff up. My throat was sore. It was not fun. So, in October 2014, we went to another friend's birthday party, and a really close friend of mine introduced me to vaping. And like the rest of the majority of people out there, I had heard all the misinformation that it had antifreeze and formaldehyde and thousands of other chemicals that were going to kill you. So I was pretty against it. I'm like, why would I do that when it's 1,000 times worse than smoking? Well, he dispelled all of that information. He showed me what was in the juice. He educated me quickly, like within a span of 10-15 minutes. And what he was saying was making sense. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I'll try it. So I tried his, and it was not hard on my throat. My lungs weren't hurting after, and it tasted good. So I was like, okay. So he had a spare MVP2 and an Alice Mini tank laying around. He's like, well, I'll pass these along to you, get you set up, you can start. I'm like, okay. And I was done. I stopped smoking the cigarillos. I was done, and it was great. Now, when I travel to Edmonton to see my specialist, I do lung treatments, or not lung treatments. I see a respiratory therapist, and they test my lungs to see what my lungs are like. After transplant, my lungs were not good. I couldn't hold a lot of volume. My airflow was bad. So I was being monitored. And then in November, so the next month, November, I went into Edmonton for my doctor's appointment, and I went to see my respiratory therapist and do my tests and finished the test. And she asked me, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "Oh crap, I'm in trouble. My lungs are getting worse. This vaping thing just isn't working." I'm like, "Oh, I started vaping." She's like, "Your lungs are incredible. They're 10 times better than they were back in September, and your airflow's up. Your volume is way better. You're better than someone that doesn't even smoke." And I'm like, "Whoa, awesome! This is great." I was happy. So I've kept with it. I still vape. Um, and it's not just that vaping is going to be this huge medical breakthrough, because it is. It's going to be the biggest medical breakthrough of the century. It's the fact that the community that's grown up around it, it's all colors, all nationalities, it's all ages. Here, there are people here that have smoked for 50 years, and they've quit the vaping. They're done. It's awesome. to see people that have done it for so long, half a century, that have tried vaping and going, I'm done with smoking. I'm done. And it's awesome. The community is great. I've helped out friends of mine quit. I paid forward the MVP that I got to another really close friend. I've helped out customers in my local vape shop, and I don't even work there. It's a community. I'm very active in the vape group here in Grand Prairie. And when I first saw the Billion Lives thing posted by River City Vapes out of Edmonton, I knew I had to get on board with it. I knew I had to do something because it saved my life, literally. If I would have kept smoking, I'd be dead now. And that's a big deal. The fact that vaping can save 1 billion lives. That's huge. There's what, 7 billion people on the planet? That's a seventh. 1/7 of the population it'll save. So what these guys are doing is important. Dispelling all the misinformation, teaching people that this is a safe thing, that this is a huge medical breakthrough. So please support these guys. Thanks for watching the video.